Thank you for checking out this video. We're going to be building a media cabinet using fairly common woodworking tools. The bulk of this project is made from 3/4 inch MDF. I chose MDF because it's inexpensive, it's easy to work with, and in the end I wanted a painted finish. I added this hinged shelf to be able to get access behind the TV. These are the dimensions of my cabinet as it had to fit into an existing nook. Here is an exploded view showing how the cabinet is constructed. Like most of my projects, this one starts out with a track saw and ripping down 3/4 inch MDF. If you don't have a track saw, I highly recommend them for any solo woodworker. All of the smaller crosscuts are best done on the miter saw. Head over to the table saw to rip down the thin strips and to clean up any finished edges left behind by the track saw. Pop in your dado stack and run 2 3/4 inch dados along your side panels. Sometimes when I have a dado on the bottom edge, I prefer to leave excess and then cut it off when I'm finished running the dado. And here I'm notching the top center divider piece. I use dados to help align the top lip. When gluing the top lip, which is really just a butt joint, you want to err on the side of the joint being proud so that you can sand it down later. After that joint is cured, you can trim off the excess for a nice flush edge. Then sand the top flush so that it disappears after we've painted. Use biscuits to align the centerpiece up during gluing. Here I clamped it down and used it as a reference. I ran all the exposed edges through a 45-degree bevel on the router table. With all your pieces cut, you're ready to assemble the cabinet. Spread the glue along all the dado joints and have a dead blow hammer handy to tap things into place. It's okay to use staples here as these edges are hidden within the nook. Since we're painting, we can use Bondo to smooth over any imperfections. MDF is especially porous on its edges. Here I'm using some polyurethane to begin sealing the edges. These shaker style doors are kind of a cheat. Because MDF is very stable to seasonal movement, we can get away from traditional cope and stick joinery. In this video, I won't be covering how I made the drawer boxes. I just think other people have made excellent videos on this already. Here I'm cutting the backing from 1/4 inch MDF. The frame pieces are made from 1/2 inch MDF. Use a block in your miter saw to batch off 4 tops and 4 side pieces. Apply the same 45-degree bevel to all the outside edges. Give the edges a quick sand and apply some polyurethane to seal. I used a 5/8 brad nail to tack down the frame pieces. Fill the holes left behind by the brad nails with some Bondo. Use 220 grit sandpaper to smooth out the face. Cut a new piece of baseboard to finish off the bottom. This project is finished with 2 coats of sealer, 3 coats of paint, and 3 coats of polyurethane. After spraying 2 coats of bin 123 primer to seal off the MDF, I mix up a semi-gloss white latex with latex conditioner. Once all the finishing work has been done, you can glue and clamp the top piece. Please check out my other video to see how I installed the wood paneling around the cabinet. Since the back wall is viewable through the media cabinet openings, I had to put some wood paneling in that area. And if you've done your measurements correctly, this thing should just slide into place. I then installed all my flooring and tacked on the baseboard. To mount the drawer front, start by pre-drilling 4 holes. Then install some drywall screws so that they stick out about 1/8 of an inch. Use a shim that's the size of the desired gap on the bottom, and rest the drawer front on it. Once you're satisfied that everything is centered, give it a quick wrap with your wrist. Use the marks you just created and carefully pre-drill the mounting holes. And then you can go ahead and install them. Mark and pre-drill the mounting holes for your handles, and fasten down the handles. Moving on to the hinge shelf, which will hide all those nasty wires. The shelf is also made out of 3/4 inch MDF. Here I'm cross-cutting the top piece to length, and rip down another front lip piece, just like we did for the media cabinet. After gluing those 2 pieces together, trim off the excess. Measure and mark where you'd like to place your hinges. Then drill the hole for the hinge cup using a 35mm bit. Make sure it fits nice and snug. Pre-drill the mounting holes using a centering bit. For the other side of the hinge, just carefully pre-drill the mounting holes. You'll also want to cut 4 equal length strips, which will help in reinforcing and mounting the shelf. I glued down this additional piece to prevent sagging. Sand everything down and finish it just like the base cabinet. Cut a 5-degree angle on the side mounting brackets. You can now mount all your hinge hardware. I've already gone ahead and built this plywood box, which will hold the TV at the right depth. Mount the shelf by first installing a screw in the center. You can still move it to make sure everything is nice and level. Go ahead and install the side mounting brackets. Then just clip the hinges in and drop the shelf into place. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.